yes, Terry. What a way to start. I'm not quite sure what's better, the animated version there, or the cartoon version, or the real version.
I don't know. I'm not sure either. But move your microphone closer.
Oh, my microphone. Yes, microphone check. 1 2 1 2. There you go. How's that?
That's
Is that better?
good. Yeah, that's very better.
Yes, I sound like me now, just a little bit, kind of like congested, nasally me, and I need to get a haircut. My hair is all out of there. I look like a crazy man with all this hair up here, Terry. People on the street are offering me money.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if that's because they're saying, hey, nice hit on that pick 4 yesterday, or if they're just think I'm homeless because of the unruly hairdo.
Yeah, mine gets pretty unruly now, too, because the person I get my hair cut from is 40 minutes away from here now. And I hate to change because I've been going to her for like 25 years.
So she moved away, or?
No, I moved away.
Oh, you moved farther away. Well, how long have you been there?
A year and a half now.
So maybe you can tell her to meet you halfway.
She does sometimes. Yeah, that's true. She comes this way. Yeah. So, but during the pandemic, of course, you didn't get the haircut much at all. And then,
unless you're like Lori Lightfoot or Nancy Pelosi or some of the other.
Oh yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do. Leaders that we have.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but I'm down to now every 6 weeks or so. I like to do it every 4 weeks. So.
I don't think I've gotten mine cut. I mean, if you look at this mess here,
yeah.
I mean, we're like opposites.
Yeah, well, see, mine grows really fast here. Oh, wait a minute, there's no hair there.
Yes, mine does grow fast. Look at it; it becomes like a bush.
The
thing is, I got like wavy hair, but I can't do anything with it because if I try to do anything, I can't. I don't know, hair talk for horse racing. But anyway, so yesterday, Terry, we had we tried the all minus the 8. I don't know if the 8 finished in last place, but he might have. So we might have picked the right one last. And then right at the wire, we got beat by the favorite, the 1. Otherwise, we would have had like a $2,800 pick 4. So
yeah. I was really yelling for that 6 to stay there and that 1 not to catch it. That was 2 races in a row that was by just the nose. The race before was in our favor, and the last race was kind of
it was in our favor, but not in our favor
at
the same time.
Not as big as we'd like it to be. So
yeah, I mean that 1 horse difference, that nose difference was what? Like 5 times smaller payout. So, but still, nonetheless, a profitable Wednesday. Today's like Friday for Terry because he's not going to be around tomorrow. Tom and I will be back at this time to go ahead and do our Friday foreign horses, or what do you call it? Foreign Friday? Yeah, Foreign Fridays is what Terry calls it. And last week I had a nice, in Hong Kong, I hit a trifecta, Terry, for 1,300 Hong Kong dollars.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
You know how much that works out to about?
I don't know, $50.
180. So yeah, something like that. So I was like, wow, I won 1,300 Hong Kong dollars. How much does that pay? Oh, $100. Woo! And there were some nice prices too. So I was a little bit saddened by that. But anyway, let's move on to the news for the day, Terry.
Okay.
There's going to be tests, more tests, and more tests. So when was the Kentucky Derby run? The first Friday of May, right?
Well,
first Saturday of May. What am I talking? I'm talking about the Kentucky Oaks. First Saturday of May. So they're going to finally decide, probably by Christmas, if Medina Spirit is the actual winner or not. So the follow-up testing to begin on the Medina Spirit sample now, finally.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. They shouldn't make it go this long because it keeps a lot of people in the dark. A lot of stress, I think, associated with that, and frustration. I think they should do it pretty quickly.
I don't think the American attention span is long enough to remember this, Terry. That's what they're trying to do, is put it off to the end, and then walk around in the store. How much do you see of this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a person almost run right into me the other day doing that. So.
And these things, 30-second bits, little videos and stuff like that, definitely shortening our attention spans. But I think what they're doing is they're waiting till we get to the holiday season, let it out between Thanksgiving and Christmas when everybody's busy and no one's going to even notice, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. You're probably right about that. So.
Yeah, it's bury the news, baby, in the holidays. But there was some good drug testing news, Terry, if you will, if such a thing. But the California Horse Racing Board tested all the horses that finished first, second, third, or fourth, and some random horses.
Mm-hmm.
Medina Spirit finished second, so he got tested. And every single horse that they tested, Terry, according to the California Horse Racing Board, tested clean.
Well, that's good news. I think it's great news, to tell you the truth. That's good for the industry, too, and for the, it tells the public that people are really being careful about what they're doing with their horses. So,
well, I think that they've made it pretty clear that they're going to test some more, right? This is probably everybody's getting ready for that. You know what? We hid the hay this time, Terry.
That's right.
But I think everybody's probably getting ready for this new set of rules, right? That's going to come out that we talked about the last few days. So I would say that 2020 looks like, to me, I'm not a huge fan. I am a fan of having unified rules.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge fan of government intervention because it almost never works.
No, it doesn't.
But it looks to me like 2022 is going to be the year where horse racing becomes a cleaner sport.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, I really do.
And I don't know what that's going to do for our handicapping.
Well, we'll have to adjust, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm curious to see what it does to trainer stats is what I'm really most interested to see because, I mean, horses might test negative because no one's on anything, and maybe previous trainers didn't have a history of getting positive tests. But if you see trainers that go from winning 20 to 30% of the races all the time to 8 or 9, the spidey sense is going to be tingling.
That's right. I agree with that.
So I'm going to be curious to keep an eye on which trainers continue to perform exceptionally well and which ones kind of struggle a little bit under the new rules. I know that Terry usually does pretty well with his best bet. Yesterday we were talking so far in the month of November. Terry's picks have been hitting at about 40%. I think yesterday was an off day, though, right?
It was. It knocked my 40% down. Let me tell you, nobody really did any good saving Sophie, and the BGs didn't get $1 million record. And summer storm didn't happen. It was hot all summer long, so none of them finished in the money.
Well, I think that one would be cold, Terry.
Yeah, it was cold. The fourth place was the best any of them finished. So
that would be Hemingway's summer in San Francisco. The coldest winter I ever spent was summer in San Francisco, right? That was Hemingway?
That's true, yeah.
I think so. I don't know. That's about as much culture as I have. So today's best bet, Terry, is at Aqueduct, race number 5.
Yeah, and again, I picked it because it's the beginning of the pick 5, which feeds right into our pick 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I like number 7. I don't know.
Russia.
Russia ran second in her maiden race.
We just found out that Russia was a big lie, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lock her up. No, just kidding.
Well, she ran second in her maiden race and received the highest last race speed rating. This trainer wins 27% of the races when bringing back a horse for its second career start. Then I like number 2, Saratoga Chrome. She ran second versus similar in her last race, and the rail post is winning at a 22% clip. Mm-hmm. And then number 12, San Hara.
Yeah, San Rada. I will go with that. That sounds perfect.
Okay. Finished third versus similar in her only start. Has a jockey change to John Velasquez, who is winning at a 17% clip.
Yeah, so Johnny V.
That's it.
That's it for today with Terry's best bet. And then tomorrow, as I said, Terry won't be here, but he'll send us his best bet and we'll find a place to make it known for sure.
Okay, good.
We're going to go to Aqueduct, as Terry mentioned, starting in race 6 for our Fly 4. This is where Terry and I put together a pick 4 as a team. Yesterday, we did the same thing. And as I said, we actually had a nice one that paid, $260 or something like that, Terry?
Yeah,
50 cents?
Absolutely. I'll take that every day.
And then both of us, I had the we both had the pick 3 afterwards, right? The last pick 3. The 6 had one. I would have had that too. In fact, in that last race, I don't know. They have that thing where there's 5 horses. It's like the pentathlon or whatever. I don't know what they call it. But 5 of my 6 horses finished in the top 5. So you could have had that there too. So I don't know what it paid, but and then we had the pick 3. The only one we didn't have was that first leg where that 7 ran out of the money. But fortunately, we had the 6 in our pick 4. So that probably beating that 2 to 5 shot that had just an awful ride from the trip was terrible. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what kind of trip we can put together today, Terry. In race number 6 at Aqueduct. Race number 6 is 7 furlongs, claiming $20,000. The purse, $44,000 for fillies and mares that are 3 years old and up. Terry, 7 furlongs on the main track. In last year's fall meet, they ran 78 times. 47 of those winners, or 60%, went as speed horses, so first 3 at the quarter-mile marker. And 26 of the 78, in other words, 1/3, one going wire to wire. It does not look to me like any post position has an advantage over the others. And in this particular race, Terry, the 1A and the 6 are scratched, so we can toss them out, which makes me feel like if the 1A is scratched, but Terry's going to start with the 1.
Nope, I'm not. But I should have, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start with the 7, Saratoga Beauty. She's been actually been playing in the game, claiming game since last May. Been claimed on and off 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and she's finished third versus Tougher in her last race. After she was bumped at the gate before to start at the start of me, and then still ran second, earning the highest speed rating.
Yeah, she's going to end up being the heavy favorite, Terry. With the 6 scratching, I think you're going to find her odds probably around 4 to 5. You think that's true?
Yeah, and I think so. And the trainer wins 26% of the time after a claim, first race after a claim. So, and she got a great jockey on there, Irad Ortiz, who's won 7 out of 23 starts at this meet.
Yeah, so I feel like the 7 horse, as I mentioned, is going to be the big favorite to get this started, Terry. And when I look through the race with the 6 horse scratching, there's really, again, speed was kind of a way to go. With the 6 horse scratching, that was probably one of the other horses that was going to put some early pace in there. Maybe the 2 horse is going to put some early pace in this race, Terry. The 1 horse is probably going to be a closer. So there's really not a lot of speed. Maybe the 3 horse, Awesome Indra. Probably Awesome Indra is going to be the one that takes the lead. She does have the best early pace numbers in the field, but I'm gonna start with probably the longest shot on the board, Terry.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the 4 horse, and that's Starship Reina. Starship Reina last time out got off to a good start against some of these, bumped at the break. Went 2 to 3 wide. Jockey pulled her up. And then coming back to the track today, Terry gets a little bit of a weight break with the apprentice jockey. So going on 115.5 pounds. And that's about 6.5 pounds lighter than everybody else. But if you just rewind back a race or 2, the horse does have the fastest early fractions that any horse in this field has put together in the opening quarter in their last 10 races. So the horse does have some giddy up and go. And since that October race at Belmont, the horse has been back to the track to train 2 times. Well, one was kind of a maintenance, actually 3 times. 2 maintenance workouts, and then the one right before this particular race on November 5th, the last one at Belmont on the training track, was the fastest of 96 at 4 furlongs. So facing off against a lot of horses. I think the 4 horse, Terry, in a race that could be short on speed, can get to the lead, and if it doesn't have some kind of weirdo start, might be able to run fractions that can carry it from pillar to post.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Drops in class today and has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So, yeah, I go with that.
6 out of 8 in the money, too, at the distance. So,
yeah.
With the 7 horse probably being a prohibitive favorite, how many more do you want to put here?
Well, I put one more, and I'd put the 1, Jenna Lanny. She won her last race at Aqueduct. Actually, she didn't. She ran second in her last race at Aqueduct. And the trainer wins 22% of the time after a claim. So I think it's a good thing to put her in there.
Well, I think that one Gentle Annie is going to be coming from off the pace, and there might not be a lot of pace in this race, so it makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So for me, the other horse I would have put in here instead was the 3 horse, which is the other horse I feel like with the 4. The 3 and the 4 are probably going to – the way I see the race taking shape, I see the 4 getting to the lead or the 3 getting to the lead, those 2 battling it out up front with the 7 sitting right behind them and making the move as they come out of the turn for the 7 to come home, and then the 1's going to chase them down. I do think the 1 will pass either the 3 or the 4, whichever one tires the most. But I'm a bit worried that the 3 might be the speed horse, the speed of the speed. And if you're the speed of the speed, you have a pretty good chance to win.
Yeah, I agree. 3 is my third pick.
So we'll put it off to the side now because we can't put any more right in here, I think, with that heavy favorite with the 7 horse, especially as deep as these next fields are. Because we got some big, deep fields coming up. Terry. Race number 7, 6 furlongs on the outer turf, optional claiming 45,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. Purse is 74,000. So this is for 3-year-olds and up. Foiled in New York State and approved by the New York State Bred Registry, which have never won $15,000 twice, other than maiden, claiming, or starter, which have never won 3 races, or optional claiming price of $45,000. But you better really understand the conditions booked for some of these races, no?
Yeah, I agree.
So they had 40 races during the fall meet last year at this distance and surface, and you had 19 of them, it looks like to me, 23 of them were won by horses that come from off the pace, Terry. So a little bit more of a closer stalker race, and 8 of them went wire to wire. There is a inside bias, Terry, for the inside 3 posts. So you want to maybe upgrade your horses there, no matter what the odds say. And we have a scratch for the 1, the 6, and the 12. So with the 1 scratching, Terry, that moves a couple horses a little bit more inside and maybe giving them a more favorable post position.
Could be.
How are you going to start this one?
I like number 5, Dancing Buck. Ran second after leading for most of the race. Broke on top and led most of the race at 7 furlongs, and now cuts back to a shorter distance. It's eligible to improve. This is the 3rd race off of a layoff. So
I like the horse to its inside, Terry. Number 4, Phantom Smoke. Manny Franco, which is interesting because Manny didn't ride this horse last time. Joel Rosario did, and I don't know where Joel is on this particular day. Maybe somewhere else. But won pretty much at this level last time out. Coming back after second start off a layoff. The last time, the horses really never put 2 races together back-to-back without heading to the barn. So it's interesting to me that Christophe Clement, who's a really good trainer in New York for these turf races, horses run at the distance 3 times. It's where it collected both of its wins, Terry. I think this is a horse that can run close to the pace or run from off the pace. And as I mentioned before, running off the pace is the place to be. And at $200,000, the cost of this horse, it's one of the more expensive horses, one of the least raced horses in the field. And I like that angle because we're not quite certain what this horse's upside is. And coming off a break, it ran its top speed figure ever. I feel like it's going to improve in the second race. And if it does, it's going to be hard for people to beat this horse.
I agree. It's my second pick. And as you know, it ran first last race. And it's actually been improving every race for the last 3 races with its speed rating. So it's got a hot jockey trainer combination who in the last 14 days out of 7 mounts has won 2, second twice, and third once. So I agree with that.
Who's your next selection?
Number 11, Outrageous Bet. Outrageous Bet ran 5th, was only lost by a length, but received the highest last race speed rating. And the trainer wins 28% of the races when going route to sprint. And the jockey's been really hot the last 7 days, winning 7 out of 23 mounts. So.
Yeah, that I did run the highest last race speed figure with Irad Ortiz and the irons. The horses run pretty well with Irad in there. It's got finished 5th last time, but just by a length, not by much. The race before that, second by a neck. The race before that, a winner. First time he was on the horse, it finished 4th by 6. So the horse does look like it's on the improve to me, Terry, but it also seems to be capped at this level. So what it's put on the tape so far is probably the best that it can do. Hopefully that's good enough to get the job done. If we have the 11 horse, I do worry a little bit about that outside post, especially with such an inside bias at the 6 furlongs on the outer turf course. So I like the horses a little better to the inside. I'm going to finish my picks with number 7, Shiraz.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. When I used to work at Zach's, great oil analyst named Shiraz. So if you're looking to invest in oil stocks, take a look at Shiraz's research over at Zach's because he's probably one of the top oil analysts that there is in the country. The guy's damn good, and he's a really, really smart guy. But in any case, I get back to horse racing. I like Shiraz. This is a horse, Terry, that should be a part of the late pace. Does struggle to find the winner's circle, Terry, but does seem to find a cash a check pretty regularly. It's not one I think is going to win, but one I want to put in here because it's always close at the end. And if it gets the right trip, it might find its way into the winner's circle.
I agree with that. It's my actual fourth pick. It actually has the best turf speed among today's starter, and it's trained by Michael Maker and ridden by Louis Saez, as we know that's a good combination.
Yeah, Luis had a great fall meet at Saratoga for sure. If there's a scratch here, Terry, who would you put in?
Well, I don't. That's my four horses right there. I don't have anybody else that.
Well, wait a minute. I would put in the 9 horse on the couch.
Okay, the 9.
Yep, that would be my fourth pick or my fifth pick. The 9 horse. That's a horse that is another one that should be closing. Does have 2 wins and 5 races at the distance. Hasn't run since June the 13th, but does have quite a few workouts in there. So it's put in a lot of furlongs of work in the last month. So let's see, would have put in around 12 furlongs of work. So the horse should be fit and ready to go. A little bit of a price, but does have some of the best late pace figures in the field. And as I mentioned, late pace is to probably be has been the way to win, or was at least last year the way to win at this particular distance and surface. 6 furlongs on the outer turf.
Yeah, anyway, well, I've looked now, and I'd use number 8 Valmont as my long shot. So
okay. So if there are any scratches, the 9 or the 8.
Yep.
Race number 8, Terry, is 1 1/16 miles on the turf. Allowance 72,000. Non-winners in one lifetime. Again, all of this New York condition book stuff. Horses that haven't won maidens, claimings, all sorts of different things in bold print. But in any case, none of which have won more than 2 races. So, starter, which I've never, I don't know, too many conditions. But this has an interesting start, Terry, because it starts with a little bit of a shoot on the inside of the track, right, and then comes out onto the track with a pretty sharp angle. They had 33 races like this at the previous meet in last November, and 19 of them were stalkers and closers. However, if a speed horse did win, 14 speed horses won. 7 of those 14 speed horses went wire to wire. And once again, I think it's kind of weird to me because you would think that really sharp turn would favor horses to the outside, not the inside. But the inside horses have a big time advantage here as well. So how are you going to start this one?
Okay, I like number 5, Barrage. Finished 3rd versus Similar on the dirt in last race and has finished in the money 80% of the time this year, winning 20% of those races. He had a good workout November 7th in Belmont, and he ran 4 furlongs and 48 breezing, 13th best out of 90.
I like number 4. Again, you pick one on the outside. I picked the one right back to the inside. Just the same pattern that we had last time. You started with 5, and then I went with 4. I'm going to start with. You're going to start with 5. I'm going to go with 4, Terry. This is a horse that has run at Belmont, has run well. And if you look at the horse when it comes off a layoff, last time it came off a layoff at Saratoga, it finished 2nd by 1.5 lengths. Previous race before that, where it had a layoff, finished 1st by 6 lengths. Previous time before that, had a layoff, finished 2nd by 2.5 lengths. So this is a horse that likes to come off of a little bit of a break and then do its best work because that's when it finishes mostly in the money. Workouts have been okay. A lot of it looks like maintenance works. Doesn't look to me like the Jorge Abreu is really trying to push his horse. And you have Jose Ortiz in the irons, one of my favorite jockeys, Terry. He always seems to get his horse off to a good start. I'd expect this horse. The last time Jose ran this horse was at Belmont, and it won by 6 furlongs. So I think Jose knows how to get the best out of Lord Flintshire, and let's see if he can do it again.
I agree. My 4th pick, as you know, it ran first once and second twice in the last 4 races. And the one race he only lost by 2 lengths. And, it's had 4 different jockeys in the last 4 different races. And as you said, Ortiz is the only one that won with that horse.
So that was your 4th pick. Who was like your 2nd or 3rd pick?
2nd pick is Tackle, number 11. And Tackle closed from deep to run 2nd. And he only was beaten 1/2 length. And it was at 6 furlongs. And now he extends out to 1 mile and 1/16. And I think he likes well, of course, he likes that distance, and he does well at the track. I think this is the key for him to win today.
Wow, we did start exactly the same, 5, 4, 11. But I'm not going to go 7. I did not have the 11 in my picks, Terry, anywhere. So I hope that I hope it does come in, but it's going to kill my hot dog pick 4 because it is a little bit of a long shot. I don't think that we can skip the rail horse here, Terry, considering the inside bias that the first horses had, the first 3, particularly the rail horse. Last year, the rail won at 22%, Terry. This is a horse that's making its 4th start off a layoff. It does show some little bit of like it's going to be like right off the lead, so probably 4th, 5th out of the gates. But if you look at that last race, the improvement here, I'll pull it up on the screen real quick, Terry. Something that I like to see when I'm handicapping for horses is when they hold on. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can all see. So you see here, 2 races back, the horse was 8th, 7th. Next time out, 4, 3rd, 2. I call that stepping up the ladder.
Okay.
So that horse is stepping up the ladder on the performance. It improved big time from one race to the next. Although the speed figures didn't change at all, you do see a lot of internal race improvement. So that internal race improvement for me is enough, especially when you combine it with the rail, to put the one horse in there.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's not one of my picks, but I'll go with it because Lascano gets the best out of this horse, as you see 3 races back. So,
So who else do you like in case there's a scratch, Terry?
number 8, Grape Nuts Warrior. He actually, let me get down here. He switches to Irad Ortiz, which is a really good move. Chad Brown trains the horse, finished 3rd in its last race against Similar, but only beaten a length. And the jockey-trainer combination out of 8 starts has 2 wins and a 2nd.
I have a little bit of a dilemma here, Terry, because I do like the 1 horse, the 5 horse, and the 4 horse, but I like the 8 horse too. That was my top pick, actually, so I have to figure out what we're going to do here.
Well, I don't know. Let's see what the 9th does, and we'll come back. How's that?
Sounds like a deal to me, but I think the 9th race is pretty wide open too, right?
It is. Yeah, there's a lot of wide open race today.
So race 9 is back to 7 furlongs, as I mentioned. They had 78 races. 60% of them were won by speed. A third of them run wire to wire, and you do get some fair posts. There's not really an advantage to being inside like there is on the other races that we talked about in race 7 and race 8 on those turf races, Terry. So for race number 9, to close out the pick 4, I know we're going to go deep here too, Terry. So I'm going to start, Terry, with the 6 horse. And I know that's not one I don't think that you had. Working Man's Dude. The horse did run the highest last race speed figure, Terry. And again, like last time, I showed the horse stepping up the ladder. In its debut was 3rd at the first call. Second race was 2nd. It was 1st at the first call. The debut race was 6th at the second call. And the second start, the horse was 2nd at the second call. This horse is moving up the ladder of performance. And I feel like you're going to see that continuation here today. And maybe the horse go from wire to wire.
Oh, yeah. He was my 4th choice, actually.
Okay.
He finished 3rd versus Similar in the last race. And he earned the highest last speed rating, so that's pretty good. Trainer wins 18% of the time when on dirt races.
So who's going to be your top pick?
Number 12, Vision Board, finished 3rd versus Tougher in his only start after hitting the gate and coming wide into the stretch. He drops in class today, and the trainer wins 27% of the races with maiden claiming starts. The trainer in the last 14 days with 3 starts has won 2 of them.
All right. I like the 12 horse as well for the same reasons that you mentioned. The horse did have a pretty terrible debut, had all sorts of problems. So I expect that you're going to see some improvement in this race. The only thing I didn't like about the 12 horse in its first start, Vision Board, Terry, is that it didn't really take much action. Yeah. There really wasn't a lot of faith in the bettors that day, but perhaps it'll take a little bit more action today. A horse that I expect will do pretty well today, Terry. Anthony Dutrow dropping Boyne in the back. Bow in the back. Okay, Bow in the back. From maiden special weight down to maiden claiming, as our friend Tom Carley mentioned, that's the biggest class drop in horse racing. The horse was competitive at the maiden special weight. Will be kind of closing, so I would have preferred a little bit of speed there, but has been working out okay. A lot of maintenance workouts here again. I expect that you're going to see this horse closer to the pace than he has been. Run some decent early pace figures, especially against lighter company.
Yeah, I agree. It's my second pick. Drops in class today, as you said, and the trainer wins 33% of the time with first-time maiden claim starts.
Mm-hmm. And then we have one more spot here, Terry. Who do you think you're going to put?
Number 9, Juggler. First race since being gelded and figures to improve while returning to dirt. Drops in class today and the best dirt speed as fast as among today's starters. Trainer wins 20% of the races when going from maiden to maiden claiming and could improve going to a sprint.
All right. So that wraps that up because that's $96, Terry. If you were going to put a horse in here for a scratch, who would it be?
Number 10, number 6, Wicked Ecstasy.
Number 6?
Yeah.
We have number 6 on our picks.
Okay, number 10 then. Kong loves a flight and he switches to a high percentage jockey, Jorge Vargas, and he drops in class today. The trainer wins 22% of the time with maiden claiming starts, and they're putting blinkers on today. So
I would put the one horse in here as if there is a scratch. So let's go back to race number 8, Terry. The 8 was my top choice. So which one are we going to take out of here and put the 8 in there?
You mean, yeah, race 8, yeah.
I guess we could flip out the 1. That was the last one in. But that rail wins at such a high rate that concerns me a little bit.
God, it's hard, isn't it?
It is hard for sure.
Yeah.
Or we could take I think it'll end up being the favorite, so we can leave it out and hope it doesn't win.
That could, how about taking the 4 out and putting the 8 in?
The 4 out?
Yeah.
Let's see. The 4 was the second choice on the board, and I like the 4 for let's see. Why did I like that 4 horse? Ooh. The 4 horse in race number 8 is going to be he's going to be inside. So he's going to be let's see. The 4 horse. Lord Flintstein. Yeah, I don't know, Terry. That horse has got some really good closing power. Last time Jose was on him, he won by 6. All right. So I think we could
go to the 7th race. If we went to the 7th race, couldn't we take a horse out of there? Would it work then?
Which one do you want to take out?
Shiraz, number 7.
Number 7. You want to take him out?
Yeah, that would work, wouldn't it?
All right, we'll take him out. Yeah, he doesn't really win a lot, and we'll put the 8 in here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that. That seems like a good idea.
9 times 5 is 45. Okay, which is 90, right?
Yep. So and there's our ticket for today, Terry. So we're gonna go race number 6. The 1, the 4, the 7, race number 5, the 4, and if there's a scratch there, we like the 3. And I'm really concerned that the 3 could be the one that gets to the lead and everybody has to run down. I'm hoping the 4 as the long shot's the one that actually does that, though. Race number 7, the 4, the 5, and the 11, with every horse on the 7, 8, 9 in case there's a scratch, but the 7 would be the first choice, Shiraz. Race number 8, we have the 1, the 4, the 5, the 8, and 11. Race number 9, the 5, 6, 9, and 12 with the 1 and the 10 as substitutes or additions if you have deeper pockets, Terry. So that is our final Terry and Rich pick 4 of the week, Terry. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's going to pay pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, if we get through this one, there's deep fields. I think they're not like any prohibitive favorites. I think the one prohibitive favorite in the entire sequence is going to be the 7 horse in race number 6. And I texted Terry yesterday and I said, I don't know if maybe we should just get into business if there's a big, heavy favorite of tossing them out, because it seems like every single time there's an awful ride.
That's right. Yeah. They get beat because of the ride. So,
yeah, I mean, that ride yesterday on the 7 was just brutal. Stuck behind traffic for no reason at all. But anyway, I'm not going to criticize the jockeys because it's easy to criticize from the sidelines, right?
It is, yeah. It's like backyard quarterback, or even
Monday morning quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Terry and I, we had to put together a hot dog ticket where we spend less than $90, and this is only $18 for both of us. We both win some series of 2, 3, 2, 2, and 3, and 3. Terry, how do you like your ticket?
Okay, I like in the 6th race the 1, 2, and 7. And in the 7th race, I like the 4 and the 5. In the 8th race, I like the 5 and the 11. And in the 9th race, I like the 5, 9, 12.
So there absolutely is no way for Terry and I to both hit the pick 4s here on the hot dog side, because in race number 8, Terry's on the 5 and the 11, and I am on the 4 and the 8. So there is no consensus. So I think it's a good thing that we kind of went deep in that race there, Terry, because that tells me that's probably the most wide open when you and I don't even agree on one horse for the top 2.
That's right.
And then we agree on 2 of the last leg. So both tickets cost $18. Hopefully we get 2 out of 3 to the finish circle, Terry, for sure. Finally, we're going to end our week on Sasquatch. Terry went to Charlestown to give you a little late night action. What do you like at Charlestown, Terry?
I like in the 1st race, number 3, Salty JJ. And in the 2nd race, number 5, got a lot of charm. A lot of charm, yeah. And then 3rd race, Dinner at 5. So,
and then for me, I'm at Churchill Downs. I'll stick with the big tracks for us today. Terry, race number 4, I have number 3, Ascaretti. In race number 5, the 7, Ree Bopper. And then race number 6, the 2, a Little Menace. And all of these, Terry, are best bets today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So you make sure you want to go check that out. Today's free track at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, Terry, is Evangeline Downs. Yeah, so if you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, just log in, register account. It's free, and you'll get today's Evangeline Downs picks. Yesterday's free track, Terry, was Penn National. Now, if you remember, we talked about that. And yesterday's Penn National picks, Terry, you know how much that they paid?
No, I have no idea.
Me either. I wrote it down, and I don't know where I put it. Here it is. It paid, we had, in terms of potential payouts, we had $5,698 in potential winners there using our top selections, including in the early pick 4. Maybe we should have did the pick 4 yesterday at Penn National, Terry, because the early pick 4 yesterday paid $2,846 for $2.
Wow.
And we had it with our second pick, our first pick, our fourth pick, and our third pick in that sequence. So that ticket would have costed you, if you put it together, you could have put that ticket together, Terry, for $12.
Wow.
Not bad, huh?
No, it's pretty good.
Been a hell of a way to end the hump day.
I like ending it like that. So
I like starting it like that, having a middle of the day like that.
And
what do you got cooking for the rest of the day, Terry?
Well, let's see. I've got I finally got my solar panel fixed, so that's done. But I got my PG&E taken care of. So that's done, and my taxes are taken care of. I'm going to work on Saturday's races for Aqueduct and get prepared for tonight's podcast and
our YouTube show. Yes.
Indeed. Yeah. And then other than that, I'm going to do a little grocery shopping. So that's a honeydew thing. So
yeah, I'm gonna go get this taken care of so that I look more like a human being than like some cousin It from the what was that? The Addams Family.
Addams Family, yeah.
Yes,
Addams
indeed.
Family.
So Terry mentioned tonight we're going to have Caitlin Free. She's going to join us. We're going to talk about 3. Usually we do 1 track, but this weekend what we're going to do is a little bit different tonight. We're going to talk about 3 stakes races this weekend, 1 at Aqueduct, 1 at Churchill, and 1 at Del Mar, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So 3 different tracks, 3 different races. There's only 4 stakes races of $100,000 or more. We left the Delta Downs one off the table because we usually just do 3 races. So we'll talk about that 9:30 tonight here on the Horse Racing Radar TV channel on YouTube. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up so that we can get a positive ratio and move up the algorithms. Like us on Facebook at Racing Radar. Follow us on Twitter, again, at Racing Radar. Terry, any final thoughts before? Oh, Terry did mention, Terry and I on Saturday will be back. So if you subscribe, last couple of weeks, we tried something new going to different tracks, and it's kind of hectic, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. So we decided to go back to doing just 1 track on Saturday. We're going to do Aqueduct. So Terry and I are going to have also in-depth analysis of every race, pace setup. I got a couple new things up my sleeve that I hope to be able to introduce to help us pick or identify more winners. So make sure you join us for that on Saturday. That'll start about 10 minutes before first post at Aqueduct on Saturday. Terry and I again will be back with Tom and Sean tonight. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here on Thursday, Terry?
Yeah, just stay positive, be safe, love your loved ones, and do well at the races or whatever else you're doing.
Yeah, stuff your pockets full of cash, man.
That's right.
That's for sure. And Terry, good working with you as always this week. I look forward to tonight. Tom and I will be back for Foreign Fridays. We'll be talking about some races in Singapore, so make sure you check that out tomorrow, 1:00. Until then, Terry, may all of your picks end up in, and may your life end up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Thursday.